Greetings fellow gamers, and welcome to a new video showcasing 11 upcoming Metroidvania games you probably haven't heard of, expected to release sometime in 2026 or later. Without further ado, let's dive into it. Do you miss the irreverent cartoons that made the 90s the best decade ever? Well, get ready for a comeback because Oh My Dog intends to bring that nostalgic energy to the present through a meticulously hand-drawn Metroidvania inspired by the Metroid side of things. Doug is an obese man that decides to get into shape, and this radical change in lifestyle has his body going haywire by making it think it's the end of the world. Oh, did I mention that the whole game is played inside Doug's body? Well, it does, and you play as two unlikely allies that will do their best to survive this apocalyptic event of a man trying to get into shape. Each outlandish biome is molded after a different part of said man's body, with the game taking morbid creativity to the extreme by shaping every area, organ, and bone to something ghastly, such as a cemetery placed deep inside Doug's bowels. Weapons also run on cartoon logic, with some ridiculous examples being the ability to blast flames from a squid's behind or use and ride an Acme rocket, the name of which will probably take some of you back a bit. It's hard to describe how excited I am for Oh My Doug, which marks the first and most likely last time that I'm really looking forward to exploring another man's body. Oh My Doug has no release date as of yet, but has been confirmed for PC as well as currently unspecified consoles. Anima Song from the Abyss is the latest entry in the Anima series of video games inspired by the tabletop RPG of the same name. Taking place in the fantasy setting of Gaia, Song from the Abyss has you stepping into the dual role of Soren, a knight, as well as Noain, a mysterious entity that Soren releases from an ancient artifact during an ambush on a zeppelin he's guarding, in order to help him defend its passengers from the monstrous attackers. However, Noain's help doesn't come free, and Soren finds himself in a deal that will have him traveling to the heart of the treacherous realm that is the Abyss in order to discover why Noain was sealed in the artifact to begin with. The game is quite combat-oriented, featuring a combo-driven battle system inspired by Devil May Cry and Nier Automata. Switching between characters happens instantaneously with the press of a button, which can lead to attack chains since switching mid-fight results in special entry assaults that connect to the previous character's last hit, thus giving way to a variety of elaborate battle styles. Both Soren and Noain can be upgraded via their respective skill trees and further strengthened through an equipment system that boasts useful artifacts and customizable weapons, effectively allowing you to tailor gameplay to your own tastes. The world is massive and can be explored non-linearly, while also necessitating backtracking after you have obtained abilities that allow you to access previously inaccessible areas. Anima Song from the Abyss is expected to come out sometime in 2027 and has been confirmed for PC, PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, as well as the Xbox Series X and Series S. Do you remember Maya the Bee? Well, this is her now, all weaponed up and ready to dish some lead. All jokes aside, Dewdrop Dynasty is a whimsical retro-styled Metroidvania game inspired by titles like Hollow Knight and Cave Story, and maybe Maya the Bee. Here you play as Po Lin, a honeybee that crash lands in the hostile kingdom of Underland after losing his wings, and needs to find a way to escape. Dewdrop Dynasty places a lot of weight on fast-paced gameplay, featuring snappy dodge mechanics, gun jumping, and more as you traverse the interconnected map of the Underland, guns blazing. Acquiring new abilities to navigate the world, such as wall jumping, the classic double jump, as well as water breathing, will be the bread and butter of the game, so fans of the more traditional side of things will feel right at home. I first featured Dewdrop Dynasty on the channel back in 2023, but it recently revealed its release date via a new trailer, so it gets an encore. Dewdrop Dynasty will be coming out on the 21st of July 2026 and has been confirmed for PC. If you've ever wondered what could possibly make a dragon more badass than just being a dragon, the answer is a sword. And that's what I'm guessing was the thought process behind Draco Blade, a battle-focused metroidvania featuring a dragon slicing and dicing other dragons across a mythical world. To say that combat is the core of this game is a gross understatement. Here, fighting is founded on a skill system that allows you to unlock new moves which you then equip in order to develop combo chains that will allow you to hack and slash at your enemies so intensely that you'll end up juggling them on air. However, the really cool thing about this system is that you're able to simultaneously equip every single skill you unlock, meaning your main concern isn't going to be which skill to choose, but rather in which order to equip them so that you can end up with the longest and most powerful combo assault. It goes without saying that a game that places so much weight on battle will feature some truly powerful bosses to duke it out with, so make sure to bring your A game. This one also has a demo available, so have at it. Draco Blade has no release date as of yet, but has been confirmed for PC. Being a snail is hard. Being a snail that must delve into the bowels of forgotten kingdoms in order to seek out the malevolent force that is killing your world while at the same time fighting throngs of hostile bugs and critters in brutal combat is straight up nightmare fuel. And also the premise of DeadRoot, a 3D metroidvania whose whimsical exterior hides a violent heart. DeadRoot boasts visceral combat, with your clashes resulting in flying limbs and ruthless finishers as you explore interconnected ruins and dungeons in isometric fashion. Your battle arsenal is complemented by a variety of weapons and armor you can find and equip, resulting in different fighting styles of both the ranged and melee variety. I absolutely love the visual presentation of DeadRoot, and I'm fully vibing with what I've seen of its gameplay thus far, so I'm keeping a close eye on this one. DeadRoot is expected to come out sometime in 2027 and has been confirmed for PC as well as unspecified consoles. Castle in the Darkness 2 is the sequel to the very well-received Castle in the Darkness, though its developers are probably much more well known for Astalon, Tears of the Earth, a phenomenal metroidvania that came out back in the summer of 2021. Brandish the blade of Zenny, a young mercenary who boards a train to visit his hometown of Lumia, only for his trip to be cut short by a legion of monsters that descend upon the locomotive, wreaking chaos and bloodshed. Having survived the attack, Zenny must now go on a quest to save his little sister from the clutches of evil, in the process realizing that his foe may have a personal vendetta against him. The game features RPG progression and customization when it comes to character development, including a leveling system, numerous weapons, armor and abilities, as well as hundreds of items with an unexpected variance of effects. There's also a job system that allows you to make use of different movesets in order to battle enemies your way. Given the track record of the developers, which aside from Astalon also includes The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, I think it is safe to say that the omens are definitely promising here. Castle in the Darkness 2 has no release date as of yet, but has been confirmed for PC, with the developers having expressed the desire to also bring it to consoles, though nothing concrete as of now. That being said, given that their previous games are also available on consoles, I find it hard to believe that this one will be any different. It's not often that we get a horror metroidvania, let alone one created by developers with a proven track record, but here is End of Abyss, courtesy of some of the people behind the immensely successful Little Nightmares series. Step into the boots of Cell, a combat technician that must descend to the depths of a mysterious underground compound in order to investigate some disturbances of unknown origin. As expected, the facility is infested by eldritch monstrosities and terror ensues. Upgrading your gear will be mandatory for survival, with your weapons allowing you to keep the abominations at bay, while a set of tools at your disposal will be capable of opening up previously inaccessible areas that will require backtracking to explore. I'm just going to go ahead and say that this looks fantastically horrifying, and I'm expecting it to be a blast. End of Abyss is expected to come out on the 1st of October 2026 and has been confirmed for PC, PS5, as well as the Xbox Series X and Series S. I should note that the PC version will only be available through the Epic Games Store and not Steam, which I always think is a bad idea, but what can you do? Light of Atlantis is an adventure Metroidvania title that focuses on exploration and puzzle solving. Here you take control of a small robot that plunges into the depths of the ocean in order to explore the mythical city of Atlantis and find out what led to the tragedy that befell its once prosperous civilization. The game places a lot of weight on investigation and observation in order to navigate through the sprawling ruins, with control of water levels playing a very important part in your progress as it influences enemies, puzzle elements, the environment, as well as our protagonist itself. Light of Atlantis is another game on this list that I featured on my channel in the distant past, but with a new trailer and release date recently revealed, an encore is in order. Light of Atlantis is expected to come out sometime in November of 2026 and has been confirmed for PC. Netherspire is what you get when you combine the deep acrobatic movesets of Pseudo-Regalia with the visual sensibilities of Hollow Knight and Mio Memories in Orbit. The game transpires within a colossal tower that hides an ancient vault, and it is your job to protect it by defeating the enemies that have infiltrated the megastructure. Netherspire places equal weight on combat and exploration, with your ever-expanding offensive and acrobatic movesets allowing you to both take down your foes effectively and traverse the tower in style. On an added note, you're also able to customize your appearance by finding and equipping what are known as cosmetic shells, thus giving your looks a personal touch. Netherspire has no release date as of yet, but has been confirmed for PC.
A princess, once beautiful beyond wonders of the flesh.
I'm always intrigued when video games are inspired by the horrors that plague the history of humanity, and that is indeed the case with Bathory, Heritage of Blood, a Soulsvania that draws inspiration from one of the most notorious serial killers of all time, as well as the Castlevania franchise. Here you'll embody Princess Ursula Bathory, the undead daughter of none other than Elizabeth Bathory herself, the queen of all vampires. After being locked up for decades inside a coffin and robbed of your rightful place on the throne, you manage to free yourself and go on to forge a path of vengeance against your traitorous parent in order to reclaim your birthright. Combat definitely takes center stage here, with Ursula not only being capable of making use of blood, fire, and bone magic, but also having the ability to steal the spells of her foes as well as transform to horrifying vampiric creatures that can rip and tear at her unfortunate prey with ease. Perhaps the most interesting aspect of the title's battle system is the fact that your attacks drain your life bar, which you can refill by striking at enemies and collecting their blood, thus bringing a tactical element into the mix by forcing you to think strategically about when to go on the offensive and when to defend yourself. Bathory Heritage of Blood is expected to come out sometime in 2027 and has been confirmed for PC and Nintendo Switch. Before we get to the last game, which is fantastic, I'd like to bring your attention to two honorable mentions that aren't exactly Metroidvanias, but which I think you'll enjoy as fans of the genre. The first one's Necro, a self-proclaimed arcadevania platformer that has jumped straight out of the 90s arcade era. You are Poppy, a ghost who must protect the land of Ghostreach from a malevolent force known as the Gloam, which has spread across her world and trapped her friendly ghost buddies. To that end, Poppy will have access to a variety of different attacks, including her sword, a range of spells such as the classic fireball, as well as a minion that will assist her on her journey. If you grew up a few decades back, this game will probably tug at your nostalgic heartstrings, but I think that the younger generations of gamers will also find Necropop quite endearing. Necropop is expected to come out sometime in 2027 and has been confirmed for PC, PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, the Xbox Series X and Series S, as well as the Neo Geo, which is still going strong 36 years later, and that's awesome, but the price of the cartridge, which ranges from 349 euros for the standard edition to 429 for the limited one, is ridiculous, to be honest. The second honorable mention is Cresata, an absolutely stunning title inspired by Castlevania and Strider, with a dash of Celeste for good platforming measure, no pun intended. Don the cloak of Phaedon of Arsica, a betrayed warrior on a quest for revenge against the power-mad Leo Vengast, the leader of a rebel faction that destroyed his country. Cresata is very much platforming oriented, featuring numerous intensely challenging gauntlets that will test your precision and reflexes to their limits as you grapple and dash your way across deadly obstacle courses. Acrobatics are also incorporated into the game's combat, especially during boss fights, with platforms and grappling points being paramount to your survival. Of special note is the title's blend of 2D and 3D techniques for its visual style, which bring the world to life in immersive fashion while also allowing the camera's rotation in ways that will influence gameplay. This game looks fantastic and will be a definite day one purchase for me. Cresata is expected to come out sometime in 2027 and has been confirmed for PC, PS5, as well as the Xbox Series X and Series S. Coming back to our Metroidvania list, our final entry is Gemini X. Inspired by games like Mega Man X, the game thrusts you into the role of Rook, a security officer who is left for dead after his human space colony is attacked by a rogue faction of robotic freedom fighters known as the Heretics. Now armed with some formidable technology yourself, you set out to deal with these foes and save your colony from their nefarious plot. Without a doubt, the standout aspect of Gemini X is how unpredictable it aims to be. First and foremost, the Heretics aren't just a bunch of bosses waiting for you in their rooms. They are living, breathing, fleshed out characters with their own motivations and personalities who actually move around the colony in order to complete their tasks, something that can lead to unexpected meetings both with you as well as each other, which leads me to the second impressive aspect of the game, namely the fact that you can sow dissent amongst them in order to make them turn on each other, though exactly how that works is still unclear. Another cool feature is that exploration can lead to the uncovering of secrets that may alter the way the heretics fight during their respective boss battles. I mean, if these elements aren't enough to make you want to wishlist this right now, I don't know what could do it. Gemini X is expected to come out sometime in 2028 and has been confirmed for PC as well as unspecified consoles.
Gemini X.
What did you think of these games? Did you already know about them? Are you planning to try any of them out? Let me know in the comments below, and please subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'd also appreciate it if you could like, share and hype it, since it helps with its visibility. As always, thank you so much for watching, and if you wish to find more new games, I have a ton more videos in this series on my channel, so go watch those as well. On a last note, if you got any sort of value out of this video, please consider buying me a coffee at my coffee page, the link for which you can find in the video description. Until next time, Soulsborne Seeker out.